Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Jessica Kapkar. I'm the Communications Manager with the BBB serving Central Ohio, and we're glad to have you all with us this afternoon. We're going to have a really great session today. We have Steve Wire and Moira Belange from the Review Solutions with us. They're going to tell you all about the Review Solutions app and customer reviews and the importance of asking for those customer reviews, which I think is a big topic right now and a very important one to revisit kind of at the beginning of this year. So I'm going to let Moira and Steve tell you a little bit about themselves in just a minute, but I wanted to let you know that we are recording this webinar, and you will be able to find it at our trustlocal.org website, as well as on our YouTube page. So if you need to refer back to that, you can feel free to do that after the webinar has concluded. We also are going to be taking questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type those into the question box. We'll have a couple of opportunities throughout to answer those questions. And then we'll obviously save time at the end for anything that might pop up. We'll also have Kathy Gear from our BBB joining us shortly to answer some questions and kind of go over the process about how BBB handles customer reviews. So we're going to have a really great experience with that. And Moira and Steve are going to give you guys the opportunity to get a test text message that will show you what your consumers and your customers will get when you're using the app. So if you would like to get one of those test text messages, please make sure that you are typing your cell phone number into the chat box, and please make sure that you're directing that just to Moira, so we can keep everybody's privacy secure. So if you're interested in receiving a test text message showing you what your clients will receive, please feel free to send that in the chat box directly to Moira. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Moira and Steve and let them get started.
Thanks so much. I appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon. As they said, the Review Solution is a mobile-based app that we've developed in partnership with the BBB, and Moira will talk to you about that a little bit. Most of the time when we do these presentations, we're in person, and I start by asking a couple of questions, and so I can't see the raise of hands, but if you'll just kind of think with me, two very simple questions. The first is, in the last 30 days, have you read a customer review online? It could be for a restaurant, could be for a retail purchase, could be for travel, a vacation. Have you read a review? Now, most of the time when we ask that question and we have a show of hands, the vast majority of people have read a review. If I expand the question to say, has a spouse read a review? Certainly in your family, people are reading reviews. The second question is more telling. And the second question is simply this. In the last 30 days, have you written a review? Have you written a review for a restaurant, for a home improvement, for any type of a service? And again, if I ask for a show of hands, most of the time we see very few hands raised. Now, there are a couple of thoughts on that we usually hear, and sometimes what we hear from business owners is the question of whether they believe reviews. And so we'll have someone say, well, I don't believe in reviews. I don't believe customer reviews. And so I don't write them. Okay, Moira. So we're going to show you just a couple of statistics that kind of support customer reviews independent of my opinion. And so the first is that 93% of people find businesses online. I'm old enough to remember yellow pages. We don't get those anymore. Everybody finds everybody online. So we know they're looking. And the second statistic is 87% read customer reviews for local businesses. And that's just about any type of business. Okay. So if we look at the next number, this is an interesting number, because it's the number of reviews that the average consumer hopes to read when they're making a decision whether to trust a business or not. I will point you in the lower right-hand corner. All of these statistics I'm giving you come from a white paper study that's done on an annual basis. So these are statistics from 2020 from Bright Local's Local Consumer Survey. So these are not, it's not information that we've created, but this is statistical information. So this is where it gets probably more relevant to your business. So the first thing we talk about, there we go. The first thing we talk about is the recency of reviews. And so we talk with business owners all the time that will say they have customer reviews, or we'll look at search results and we'll see they have customer reviews. Many times their reviews are, if not months, even years old. And so consequently, when and if you think about your own, as a consumer, think about yourself. If you were looking for a home repair, if you were looking at a car dealership, if you were looking at a restaurant, a resort property, any of that, you would look at reviews and see the relevance of them. So relevance is important. And what's really relevant is that a high percentage of people, I'm not sure what the statistic is there, it looks like it's disappeared, but
it's 50%, but for some reason the screen's cutting off the 5.
you lost
So
your
that's
5.
Yeah, we lost
Okay.
5 for some reason. That you can see that 3 out of 6 stars are filled in. I don't know why.
Got it.
5 is.
Got it. So anyhow, basically, you know, people are looking at relevance. So if I give you a personal example, we went to Florida for spring break, and we're selecting a restaurant, and we're looking at reviews, and we're looking at reviews for last week and this week. So same might be true for your business. So if we go to the next slide, Moira, the star rating is without question the most relevant thing that people judge off of. So everybody sees 5 stars. As a matter of fact, a lot of businesses have changed their name to 5-star maintenance, 5-star renovation, 5-star restaurants. You see it in their advertising. It's because that's what triggers consumers. And the thing about stars is half the consumers won't really read further or look into a business many times if they've got less than a 4-star rating. And we're going to talk about what creates star ratings a bit, because the real question is, if you have one customer that has written one review and it's a 1-star review for any reason, then you end up with a 1-star rating. So star ratings on many sites average. And so the more reviews you have, the better the dynamic in terms of your star rating. Many review sites, most review sites also present reviews by date and timestamp. So reviews from today would be seen first, reviews tomorrow, or yesterday, I mean, would be seen after that. That's not always true, depending on the review site that you're looking at. Yelp is particularly problematic in that regard. So if we look at this in terms of behavior, it's no shock, it's no surprise. If people see negative reviews, they're probably not going to move forward. And so with that being the case, we want to talk about how important are online reviews. Most people, many people, probably most of the businesses on this call, when you started your business, you built it by word of mouth, traditional advertising, those types of things. Word of mouth has always been historically the strongest way to get new business. The internet now has really caught up to that, and in many cases has overridden that. And so people are trusting online reviews more than they will the recommendation for a friend. If I need a doctor and my sister-in-law recommends a doctor, I'll take that recommendation. But I'm also probably going to look that doctor up and read the reviews and make a decision not only on word of mouth, but also on what is said online. And the more reviews, the better. If I can read 10 reviews, I'm going to have a sense of confidence. So Let's go one more slide, Moira. We'll take some questions. So this is interesting. More than likely, we're going to talk when we get to questions, we're going to talk about different review sites, and we'll see if we have answers for some of your questions. We'll take those in just a minute. But the thing that's interesting about customer reviews is most reviews are posted on Google, on the Google My Business knowledge box that you see on the right-hand side of your search results for your business. However, the Better Business Bureau, according to the survey, has reviews that are more trusted and more reliable than reviews that are found on other sites. That would include Google, it would include Yelp, it would include Facebook, Home Advisor, Porch, many of those sites. So the BBB has really focused on customer reviews and the integrity of those reviews. And we'll talk about the actual process that the BBB utilizes to vet a review and validate a review in just a minute. So Moira, I think by now, if anyone wanted to receive a text, I think you probably sent them out. And
Yes.
it'd be good if you could just take a minute and tell them exactly how the app works and how they take advantage of that.
Yeah, so if you requested to receive a text, you should have received it. So if you requested to receive a text and you didn't get it, please let me know so I can make sure that I resend that text message to you. And based on everything that Steve discussed, you know, I think BBB recognized that online reviews are only going to get more important to both consumers and, as a result, businesses. And so because of that, they knew that because they always want to help businesses, especially accredited businesses, they partnered with the review solution to provide these businesses with an app that makes it really easy to help with customer reviews. And that's kind of where we come in. So basically, the Your Reviews app makes requesting reviews and leaving reviews if you're a customer super easy. So you can see the kind of the simplified 5 steps that I've shown here. So again, it's an app that you download. You can download it to any of your mobile devices, whether you have an Android, which means you use the Google Play Store to download it, or if you have an iPhone and you go to the Apple App Store, you can actually also download the app onto computers. So Mac computers, Windows computers, even Chromebooks. So essentially, whatever device you have, you're able to download this app on it. And one thing I want to make clear is you, the business, is the one that downloads the app. So your customer doesn't have to do anything. They don't have to download anything. It's all up to you. So number one thing is you download the app. You open the app. This is what it looks like. So you can see here in this picture, that's what it looks like when it's opened up. And there's going to be a field there for your customer name and your customer cell phone number. So just like I sent out those demo texts, all I needed was your name and cell phone number. That's what you, the business, is going to need in order to send a review request out by text. So you put in your customer's name, your cell phone number, you hit send. Instantaneously, your customer then receives a text with a link to leave a BBB review. So for those of you all who requested that text message, you should have received it by now. Go ahead and open up the text and click that link. And I see somebody else just came in with a request, so give me just a second here to send that person a text. And again, if you guys want to get those texts as well, just make sure you can drop in your name and phone number in the chat. So I just sent that text over to you. If you did not receive it, please let me know. But again, it's that easy. So on your end, you put in the name of your customer, their text or their cell phone number, hit send. On the customer's end, all they have to do is open up the text and click the link. So very, very easy. This is what it looks like. You should be seeing this when you click that link in the text message. And what this is an exact replica of the BBB review survey that's on bbb.org. That if you weren't using the app, that's normally how your customers are going to leave you a BBB review, by going to bbb.org. So it asks for their review, it asks to rate your business 1 to 5 stars, and then asks for their customer information. So first name, last name, display name, email address, phone number, and zip code. And those are the exact same fields that BBB requests whenever a customer leaves any kind of review, whether you're using the app or whether you're having your customer submit that review through bbb.org. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, why do I need to download this app? Why do I need to use it? If, like you said, you can just direct your customers to bbb.org to leave you a review. There's a couple of reasons. The first one is currently, and Steve alluded to this, is part of the reason why, or a big reason why, consumers trust the integrity of BBB reviews is because BBB has a process in place. It's a double verification process that tries to ensure every review submitted to the BBB website is a real review from a real customer. And the first thing they do to ensure that is they require any customer submitting a review to verify their email address. And the way they do that is they send an email immediately after submission of that review. Now you might be thinking, your customer already went through all of this to be able to leave you a review. And again, I don't know if you've tried it, but if you want to try to see what it looks like to leave a review for your business on BBB, it takes about 5 or 6 clicks. So you go to bbb.org, you search for your business, you find your business, you click the link for your BBB profile, you then have to find where you're actually supposed to leave a review for the business and leave a review there. So 5 to 6 clicks, your customer goes through all of that, leaves you a review, and then they have to wait for the BBB to send them that verification email and click the link in that email for that review to go any further in the BBB verification process. So I think you can imagine that anytime you add additional steps for the customer, that conversion rate of getting a review is going to drop off. And so your customer already submitted a review, and think about what it's going to take for them to go back into their email, find that email from BBB, know to click on it, and click on it in order for that review to be submitted. And so I want to reiterate that that's the process right now in place to be able to submit a review without the app on bbb.org. What the app does is, because you're sending the review directly to your customer's cell phone, by clicking the link in that text, they're automatically validating their cell phone number. And in this case, the BBB recognizes that a mobile number is just as good of a verification, it's just as good to verify as an email address. And actually, I think it's a lot better because it's a lot more difficult for somebody to create another cell phone number or fake cell phone numbers than it is for somebody to create multiple emails just to be able to leave reviews. So again, by using the app, your customer skips that verification step. So all the reviews that you collect through the app is going to come into BBB pre-verified. So your customer doesn't have to do any additional verifying. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll stop there and see if anybody has any questions, because I know that was quite a lot in terms of the verification process for BBB.
We covered a lot quickly. So there's a chat feature in the box on the right. And if you have questions, you can stick them in that chat feature and we will try to give you an answer to anything we might be able to help you with.
And actually, Steve, I just got a couple more requests for text messages, so I'm going to go ahead and send these out really quickly and give, maybe if you have any questions, give you the opportunity to type those in now so we can address them. Okay. Let me see here.
So one question is, does this app work with other review sites? And that's the next thing we're going to talk about here in just a minute. That'll be helpful. 2 more pieces of information, Moira, that might be helpful for them. Is a common question we get is, so an accredited business can download the app, And so a question might be, how many downloads can you have? So let's say you have 5 employees in the field, or you have 3 people on the phone doing customer service or something like that. The BBB app is specifically given to you because you're an accredited business, and you can download as many instances of the app as you want. So as an example, if you were an HVAC company, let's say you had 10 service trucks in the field, each one of the people in your service truck can download an instance of the app on their phone and engage with the customer at that point. We have businesses that have call centers, and a number of their operators have got the app on their phone, where after they're done with a customer service conversation, they're able to send that as well.
I think that should take care of everybody that requested a text. Again, let me know if you did not receive it. Go ahead and just send me another message. But if you did get the text this second round, click the link. You'll see just how easy it is for your customer to do so, because this is exactly the experience that you would have and your customer would have. So again, to reiterate, you just put in your customer's name and cell phone number. They just open the text and click the link. And that's, and that's how easy it is to leave a review. A couple more points that I want to hit on to really emphasize how much easier this app makes collecting reviews. For one, texts get a much better response rate than emails. And I think if you look at your own behavior, that validates that. So a study that Gartner did back in 2016 showed that text messages have up to a 98% open rate and a 45% response rate. Whereas emails, I mean, if you're getting 10% opens on your marketing emails, that's considered a success. And so if you're sending out text requests to your customers asking for reviews, they're much more likely to open that up and much more likely to respond. And then this point that we've driven home, I think, the last couple of minutes is just how quick and easy it is to request reviews with the app.
And Moira, this is Jess. We did get a few questions in the question box that I just wanted to make sure that we were getting answered. The one question was, how do we get the app, which we'll actually cover shortly. We will talk about how you can find the app and where to go to find all that information. So we will be covering that in just a few minutes. One of the other questions was, excuse me, it was about the sample text message. So is this for the extra experience, or are we just viewing what the customer would see? Apparently someone wasn't able to get audio until a little bit into the webinar. So yes, so that text message that you will be receiving is a sample. It's, again, what your consumer, your client, your customer would see when you're using the app. And I don't know if there are any other points of clarification you need, but just as a reminder, we are recording this webinar, so you can go back and watch the entire thing after the fact as well. I'll make sure that I reach out to you and provide that link to you.
One thing I do want to point out with that text message, Jessica, so thank you for bringing up that question, is for those of you who did receive the text message, if you look, it's personalized both for you. So it should have your first name in there, or at least the name that you gave me, whether it's a fake name or not, I'm not going to judge. So the name that you gave me, as well as the name of the company. So Third Coast Interactive is actually the name of our company. The name of the app is Review Solution, but Third Coast is the name of the company. So as you can see, the text is customized to both the customer, where it's got your customer's name, and your company, where it's going to have your company name. So that's exactly what you will be able to have if you download the app. So any text you send out will contain your customer's name that you typed into the app, and then it's going to contain your company name as well. So I did want to point that out for those of you who did receive the text, and to emphasize that that's the exact same thing that you'd have if you were to download the app and use it to get reviews.
Okay.
Any other questions? Jessica, did you get anything else?
I have not gotten anything else,
Okay.
so I think we are good to move on.
Yeah, so let me kind of step back in. And one of the questions we got earlier was, can this app be used for other review sites? So as a beginning, the app is provided to you as part of being an accredited business. You can download as many instances of the app as you want. You can send out as many text messages as you want. We've got national brands that have sent out tens of thousands of text messages. So you can send as many text messages as you want. And all of those text messages will provide a link to your BBB profile. And that's where the reviews will be left. Now, I'll mention just real quickly, there is an upgrade to this app if you would like to get reviews on other review sites. We call it Premium. And with Premium, we can help facilitate reviews on as many as 100 different review sites, virtually any review site that your business feels is important to you. So somebody in the home improvement business might be have different preferences than a moving and storage company or an auto dealership. But basically the app, same app download, same process, can facilitate reviews on any review site that you want. We get to kind of show you the high-tech part of our whole presentation here, Moira. So let's show it to them.
So that's kind of,
There we go. That's my favorite part of our presentation. I always enjoy that. So hopefully what you saw is you can use the app for any review. Now, the way we set the app and everything is customized for the individual business. So what we do is we interact with you and you tell us what review sites are most important to your business, and we facilitate all of the setup for that. So you actually define what review sites you would like customer reviews on. We set that up for you. And as I said, it's a premium feature. And if you're interested more in that, we'll give you a website you can take a look at. The other question that we get a lot, we didn't get it today, but I'll go ahead and address it. Moira, let's go to the next slide. Because the question that people ask many times, and particularly in service-based industries, is how do you ask for a review? Or we'll get comments from business owners that say my customers won't leave reviews. So we like to take just a minute to talk about how to get a customer review. So the first rule of thumb is you're always going to get higher participation if you request a customer review at the time of service. That's going to be true in a retail environment. It's going to be true in a home service environment. If you're providing customer service online, it's going to be easier to ask for a customer review before the call is ended. Again, as Moira said, the app can be downloaded not only on mobile devices, but it can be downloaded on computers. So your office manager takes a call from a customer, provides a solution to an issue. It's easy for that employee at that time to ask for a review. So that brings us to the awkwardness. That I think awkwardness is a good way of thinking about it. Many times, and we deal with the service sector a lot, businesses in service sector, and a lot of times the people that are actually providing the service are not really extroverts. They're not perhaps comfortable talking with customers as much as a salesperson is. And so the question is, what do you do when you ask for a review? You can't coach people. That's not ethical. and you ask for the question. So we can't take credit for this perfect walk idea. We have a client named Mark, and Mark works with bath refitters, bathroom remodeling companies. And he came up with this, and we thought it was so good that we always share it. And so as he asks for a customer review, he then says to the customer, I'm going to take one last look. If it's a roofer, I'm going to take one last walk around the house and make sure there are no nails in the yard. I'm going to go look at the installation one last time. He excuses himself, creates a space for the customer, and the customer then has a higher probability of responding. It's really important to remember that when you and I are face to face, and I ask if I can send you a text message, you provide me your mobile number. As I hit send, it will hit your phone instantaneously. So you as the business know that the consumer received the text. You'll hear it ding. So we don't want to ever create an awkward space. And so the idea of excusing yourself, re-inspecting your work, and coming back and thanking them seems to work very, very well. And then the final thing is you've got to make it part of your business process. I tell a story. Moira and I did a training, an on-site training for a very, very large roofing company a couple of years ago, and they had, I don't know, in excess of 50 roofing crews in Middle Tennessee, where we're based. And we went in and we did a presentation for every one of their crews, and we brought donuts. We were going all out, and we monitored what was happening over the next week. And not a single text message was sent out. Not a single request was made. Many, many roofing crews out in front of consumers. And it's because the business owner did not require it to be part of their process. Now, there are a lot of positive benefits to making requesting a customer review part of your process. You will see the reviews that are submitted. Moira mentioned the two-step process that the BBB has. And in addition to the two-step verification process to make sure that it's a real person, the BBB is the only review site online that will forward you a customer review and give you the opportunity to acknowledge that you recognize who they are, and will give you the opportunity to read the review and write a response to the review before it's posted. In the event that you receive a review, perhaps a negative review, and you're notified and you get to read the review and see who the customer is, if you do not recognize the customer name, you indicate that by checking a box with the BBB, and that review is stopped at that point. I know when we first started providing this app to accredited businesses, we would hear many times where a business would say that a competitor was writing a negative review about their business, and the BBB has been very aggressive in addressing this. Again, they're the only review site that we're aware of that actually gives you an opportunity to read the review and respond to review before it's posted. So making it part of your process, you will get consistent feedback. You will actually know which employee requested the review. We have a tool for you to use where you'll see that. And so if Bob is your service tech, you're going to see every review that Bob has requested, whether the customer responded and the customer's review. You'll see all of that information, and you'll have an opportunity to see it before it's posted. So when we get to best practices, first of all, we believe that everyone or almost everyone in your business should have the ability to request a review. We think that's important. We also think if you're a larger company, that one person within your company needs to own the process. There are reports that you can run and information that you can review. It's all free to you regarding all of your BBB reviews. And it always works best if there's ownership by one person. The holding employees accountable part is what I mentioned just a minute ago, which is every text that's sent, every review that's submitted, you will know which employee has sent the text and which employee is receiving the review. So it's an opportunity to reward. We have businesses that we know of where in their weekly meetings, if a good review comes in and it's attributed to a given employee, they recognize the employee, they acknowledge the employee. We have people, there's a home security company that we know of that has many, many trucks in their metropolitan area. And they incent their employees. So what they do is they give their employees, this particular company, for every positive review that they receive as a company, the employee that requested that review, and it's all trackable, they get $5. And his whole marketing angle was, who says there's no such thing as a free lunch? And so the way he's presented it to his employees is get one review a day. They're calling on 15 to 20 consumer accounts a day. You get one review a day that's positive and posted, we'll, as a company, will reward you for that and buy you lunch. And then the other thing is having an effective follow-up strategy. And we're going to talk, I think, do we know, are we going to, you want me to go into the responding to reviews? Should we go into that, Moira, real quickly?
Yeah, I don't know if Jessica, is this where
Jessica, do you want to step in here, or should we
I'm
just
sorry.
go through this real quickly?
I'm happy to let you guys go through that really quickly. I think it's important to touch on, and I want to make sure that everybody gets that information. And
Sure.
then I'm happy to go through, just kind of a quick review of our process at the end and show everybody how they can get that app.
Great. So
I don't know if you want to take any questions. We did get a few more
Sure.
in the question box, if
Sure.
this is an okay time to pause.
Mm-hmm.
One of the questions was, do we need to download the app in order to use the Chrome extension?
Yeah, so the Chrome extension, I'm assuming you're asking about the Chromebook, and the way you would use it on the Chromebook is you would go through the Google Play Store as if you were downloading a mobile app. And so you do need to download the app in order to have it either on your computer or your mobile device. Now, there is a way to request reviews directly from your dashboard if you don't want to download anything onto your computer. However, if you're only requesting reviews through the dashboard, it doesn't give you that capability to be able to request reviews face to face, because you'll have to be essentially sitting at your computer requesting those reviews from the dashboard. So, but if you're asking about the Chromebook, you can download the Chrome app through the Google Play Store. It should come with your Chrome OS if you haven't enabled it.
And then another question was, is the company able to respond to the other review sites as well, such as Home Advisor, or Angie's List?
Yeah, so the short answer to that is every review site controls what functionality and capability you have. Right now, the Better Business Bureau is the only review platform that we're aware of that allows you to read the review and respond to the review before it's posted. Now, if you get, let's just say you get a review on Google or on Yelp, and it's a negative review or a positive review, we'll talk about how to respond, but if you get a review, you always have the opportunity to respond, but you won't be able to respond before the review is posted. So that's a key difference between the Better Business Bureau and any other review platform. Any other questions?
The only other question, and maybe you guys will be able to cover this in the end, is if someone is interested in the premium version, what are the steps to take advantage of that?
We'll give you a website, and at the end we'll give you a URL you can look at, and it will take you through all the features and functions, and then we've got a toll-free number or a help desk, and you can ask us questions or just give us a call and we can answer the questions that you might have specific to your business.
Yeah, and if honestly, if it's easier for you too, is you can go ahead and drop in your name and contact information in the chat, and go ahead and give us your business name as well. And so that way, once you are finished going through the website and the features, and you still have some questions, we'll be able to reach out to you fairly quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll make sure that we send this recording to everybody who's with us today. So you will be able to refer back to it and have the information that Steve and Moira mentioned.
Great. So if we kind of transition into the final part, which is when you get a review, how do you respond? And obviously there are positive reviews and negative reviews. And most of the time when this question is asked, what's really being asked is, how do I respond to a negative review? If you get a positive review, it's very easy. You say thank you. You acknowledge an employee by first name, not first and last name, but you might say, Patrina does a great job, so happy we were able to help. You can respond, and you always have that opportunity with the BBB, you can respond that way. When you go to outside apps, let's talk about negative reviews. And there are 2 or 3 things that you can do. So the first thing that we always say is apologies cost us nothing. So the first easy thing to do is to say, I'm sorry that was your experience. And after you say you're sorry, then you're able to say, and you've probably read things like this where you say, you know, our intent is to provide quality service to every customer. We'd be happy to talk with you, give us a call. That's one way. Second way is to say, unfortunately, we don't show that we have provided you service. If we can be of assistance, please contact us and provide your phone number, because that's going to address, and again, this is not on the BBB reviews page, but if you get a bad Yelp review or a bad Google review or Home Advisor review, you've always got the opportunity to let the reviewer know that you're not seeing them as a customer, because many times on those sites, as you know, you will have competitors or former employees, and former employees are pretty challenging sometimes, that will go on and say very disparaging things. And so you've got the opportunity to politely challenge that simply by saying, you know, I don't recognize you as a customer. And the third and final position is to challenge the review. And you have to be careful and measured when you do this. Shakespeare said, methinks he doth protest too much. And if you take yourself put yourself in a very aggressive position defending, it could come across negatively to other consumers that are reading it. So, you know, if I use a creative example of that, it may be that somebody provided a form of payment that didn't go through, and so consequently the service was canceled or the service was not provided. Your goal is not to embarrass the consumer by letting them know that their credit card was not processed. So measure that. The other final thing I say about responding to any review is there is a big difference between reacting and responding. I react far more than I respond, because my reaction is immediate, and if I don't feel as though our company is being fairly treated, I want to respond quickly or react quickly. There's nothing pushing you to respond immediately. So there's nothing wrong with sitting around with a couple of employees, with your staff, talking about it and coming up with a measured response that acknowledges the issue and yet positions your company as being responsive and helpful. So those are the 3 things that, or 4 things, I guess, that we always kind of coach businesses in terms of how you do that. Any other questions, Jessica? Anything else?
So sorry, I was talking to myself because I was muted. No,
Okay.
I don't see any other questions that have come through in the question box yet, but as always, feel free to add those there. I'll make sure that I keep an eye out for them.
Yep. So we'll turn it back to you and you can talk more about the BBB process.
Great. So just give me 1 second to get switched back over here really quickly. And we will kind of just talk pretty quickly about some of our processes with customer reviews through BBB. Steve has done a great job explaining the Review Solutions app. So I wanted to just give a quick overview, and I apologize. I think Kathy's having some technical difficulties, so I don't know that she's going to be able to answer all of the questions that we were hoping. She is the expert. I know just enough to be dangerous, but I will make sure that I get any questions answered from Kathy as soon as this webinar is over, if we should happen to not know the answer. So customer reviews with BBB, this is just a pretty quick timeline. And as Steve mentioned, we always make sure that you as an accredited business are aware of when a customer review is submitted prior to them being posted on your business profile. So that customer review is submitted, we accept positive, neutral, and negative reviews. That, as Moira and Steve mentioned, again, the customer receives that verification email to make sure that they are actually a person and a person who has, been a client or customer of yours or has had an interaction with your company. As Steve mentioned, it may be that, they had a quote from you, or, they were hoping to do business with you, but something, went wrong there. So we just want to make sure that they have had an interaction with your company and are not, providing a review for the wrong company or just arbitrarily. Then an email is sent to you notifying you that a review has been submitted for your company. And then the next step is for you to respond. You're able to do that. As they mentioned, you have 24 hours prior to that being posted to your business profile to respond. So we definitely recommend, staying on top of that. And, if there's a staff member that you can empower to, respond to those reviews, to do so as, quickly as possible. And then the other thing is just to ask for those reviews to continue to utilize all the resources we have for you to take advantage of the customer reviews, which I will get into in just a moment. Let me see here. So these are just some frequently asked questions that we get from people about customer reviews from businesses. Does the customer review affect your rating? It does not affect your BBB rating. So as Steve mentioned, that star rating is different than your BBB rating, but reviews are offered as additional information on your business profile. It just is a little bit of information about who can submit a customer review, and then what's the difference between a complaint and a review. So, there are times, and our staff, our local staff works, we see all of this in-house. So we're looking at the complaints, we're looking at the reviews that come in. If somebody is trying to file a complaint and they don't have a resolution to that complaint, we recommend that, they file a customer review, and vice versa. So there is a difference between a complaint and a review, but we want to make sure that we're providing as much information for consumers, so they have an idea of, who you are as a company. And honestly, the reviews, being able to respond to complaints and reviews has been a huge benefit for our businesses, because it does show that conversation between you and your consumer and your client. And it shows that, maybe they didn't have a great experience to start with, but you made it right, or you were responsive, or you did everything you could on the front end of things, and they just, couldn't quite get to the point where they were satisfied. So it has been a really great benefit for our accredited businesses. As I mentioned, we have a couple of people on our staff who are here to help with anything you may need. Kathy is one of those experts on our dispute resolution consultant team. So she is able to assist with customer review questions, complaint questions, mediation and arbitration questions, as is Catherine McLaughlin and Pat Cassidy. And I am here to help however I can. Again, I'm a point of contact for all of our accredited businesses. And as I mentioned, I may know just enough to be dangerous, but If I don't have the answer, I can get you to the person who does. So that was the really quick overview of our BBB complaint process, or I'm sorry, customer review process. I did just want to jump over here to show everybody. I think we had a question about how to get the app. So hopefully everybody has been able to log into their accredited business login section. I do want to say that this is a dummy account. It is our internal, for our internal uses to use as a sample for you guys. So this is not a real company. We are not seeing anybody's information. But this is what you would see when you logged in, and you're basically on the back end of our database. So this is the one-stop shop that we have set up for our accredited businesses to utilize all the bits and pieces and benefits of your accreditation. You'll notice down here in this green Manage Customer Reviews section, that's where you can go to comment on any customer reviews you may have received. There's a couple of informational pieces that you can read through. We've got some customer review resources that are a little bit more, tangible in print. We can do customer review postcards for you. And then over here on the right, you'll see the Your Review Solutions app. You can click through and download the app. As Moira and Steve were mentioning, it takes you right there. It gives you all of the information. It gives you contact information. If you're having issues, you can troubleshoot it there. And then that dashboard after you activate it, which probably isn't going to do anything because, as I mentioned, this isn't actually a real profile. But you will be able to find that dashboard right here as well. So if there are any questions about that, please feel free to let me know. You can call our office. We are all working, albeit remotely, but you can definitely still get to us and information from us. And we're here to help however we can. And as I said, if it's not something that we can answer immediately, we will get the experts on the line and help you answer those questions. So I went through that pretty quickly. I know I wanted to make sure that Steve and Moira were able to get through all of their information and still be mindful of everybody's time. We're pretty close to 3 o'clock, but I didn't know if there were any other questions or comments that people had, or if there was anything else that Steve and Moira wanted to touch on. But that's
the one thing. The one thing I might mention, if you want to go directly to a website for the BBB app, you can go to yourcustomerreviews.com, and that website actually is specifically for the BBB app. You'll also see an upgrade button there. If you're interested in what the premium does, the premium upgrade, it'll take you through all of that. And so that's a simple website, yourcustomerreviews.com. And I think other than that, we've covered all the information we had to offer today.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Moira and Steve, for being here. Oh, we did just have one question come in.
Okay.
How easy is it for a customer to upgrade?
It's very easy. If you want to upgrade, it's the app that you download for the free BBB functionality is the same download. So it literally, we turn the premium features on. You use the same app, same process, customer name, phone number, send. When you upgrade to premium, we actually will get on the phone with you most of the time and kind of talk through what sites are important to you and take you through some of the features and functions to make sure you understand how that works. We'll help you send out your first requests, and then we usually touch base with you about a week later to make sure that everything's working for you, and by then you usually have questions. So we've got a toll-free number. We do customer support every day, so we can help you all the way through the process.
Yeah, and the nice part is, like Steve mentioned, because you don't have to download a whole other app. So if you're already using the free app in your company or organization, if all your employees already have the app downloaded on their devices, it's already installed on all your computers, you don't have to reinstall or uninstall anything. Everything stays exactly the same, because essentially what we do on our end is we just flip a switch. So everything stays the same on your end. Your device keys are the same. You don't have to log out, log back in. You just have to tell us you want to upgrade. These are the sites I want reviews on. We'll do all of that for you and then turn it around. And the very next review request you send out will have those features activated. And so we try to make it as easy on you as possible.
And Moira, if people are looking for information on the pricing structure to upgrade, where would they be able to find that? Is that information?
On that website, yep,
Yeah.
on the website as well. So yourcustomerreviews.com, on the upper right, it says premium. You click on that and it's going to show the pricing for that as well.
We'll take your features, functions, pricing, it's all there right on the website.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
And I'll go ahead and give our toll free really quickly for anybody who wants to write it down. It's 888-649-6140. And so you guys can call that anytime with questions, both about the free app, or if you have questions about upgrading, or just about how the app or reviews work in general, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much. And it looks like that's all the questions that we have right now. Again, just as a reminder, we were recording this webinar, so I will make sure that everybody who attended today gets a copy of this recording, and we will be posting it on our trustlocal.org website, as well as our YouTube page, so you can always find it there if you need to refer back. If you happen to have questions for our BBB staff, you can, as I mentioned, call our office, or if you're on our website at bbb.org, there is a live chat feature that we have staff at our local office manning, so you can always feel free to ask us questions that way as well. But it looks like there aren't any other questions, so I'm going to say thank you so much. It's just about 3 o'clock, so I think we did pretty well on time there. And Steve, Moira, thank you guys again, and we will talk to you soon. And if anybody has any further questions, feel free to reach out to any of us.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye-bye.